How can you hate and love a person at the same time? Today's story is about that. Let's listen to her. My wife had moved out some time ago, and in the interim, she had engaged in sexual activities with other men. Although she claims that her infidelity was caused by childhood trauma, she has expressed a desire to seek therapy, but I'm unsure if she has followed through with it. In response, I have attempted to limit our communication to only matters that pertain to our children. This approach has been moderately successful, as we have still had to maintain some degree of contact, particularly due to one of our children's upcoming birthdays. After our last conversation, I began to feel better, although I still struggled with negative thoughts regarding her actions concerning men. During that discussion, she had given me assurance that she would no longer engage with other men as she wanted to focus on discovering what she truly wants. Despite being skeptical, I had no evidence to the contrary. The occasion of my child's birthday soon arrived, and we celebrated together as a family, with her also present. The experience was incredibly strange and left me feeling incredibly uncomfortable. My Wi-Fi had been portraying a happy life, yet everything seemed to be broken. I sensed something was off. To make matters more complicated, the kid's birthday party was scheduled for the day. I decided to call my Wi-Fi in the morning to suggest that she not come since the kids were with me that day. Despite my explanation, she insisted on attending. The party itself was going quite well, with the children enjoying themselves and having a great time. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. And then it finally happened. Upon examining her cell phone, I discovered that she was indeed engaging with one or two individuals and that they were frequenting her abode, spending the night. I had, on numerous occasions, expressed my disapproval of my offspring sleeping in the same quarters where she was engaging in such activities. She concurred with my sentiments, asserting that she did not desire the same outcome. In a fit of fury, I demanded that she vacate the gathering. When she inquired as to the reason for my outburst, I divulged that I had perused the contents of her messages. Subsequently, the situation took a turn for the worse. She was livid that I had disregarded her right to privacy, but I remained indifferent to her feelings. I confronted her, questioning how she could be so deceitful, and insisted that she depart. Moreover, I made it clear to her that I had no intention of ever seeing her again. In an attempt to defend herself, she offered weak excuses such as, "I attempted not to see him again, but I am human and vulnerable," and other similar justifications. Despite her attempts to rationalize her behavior, the conversation took an ugly turn and ended with her departure. Afterward, I received a message from her in which she confessed to engaging in sexual relations with men and expressed an intention to continue doing so. Her message was laced with contempt for me, and she stated that she was indifferent to my feelings. She went on to boast about the quality of the sexual encounters she had been having, and even threatened to report me for violating her privacy. She posited that I had hacked her phone or installed some form of surveillance software, despite the fact that my fingerprint was still registered on the device. In addition to this, she claimed that I had provoked her into engaging in the aforementioned activities. This was the ultimate straw for me, and I have decided to take legal action by consulting a lawyer and filing for a divorce. However, what makes this situation particularly challenging is the sentence regarding her sexual encounters. Although I recognize that she wrote it out of anger in an attempt to inflict pain upon me, it has dealt a severe blow to my confidence. Our sex life had always been satisfactory, but it was never anything exceptional. She was my first partner, and she had always been rather hesitant in exploring her own sexual desires. Nevertheless, she had expressed satisfaction with our intimacy on previous occasions. In addition to my aforementioned concerns, I am apprehensive that the divorce process will be acrimonious and fraught with conflict, akin to a rose war. I cannot help but worry about the impact of this on our children, who will inevitably see their mother with another man. I had a heart-to-heart discussion with my daughter, who is now approaching 10 years of age, and she expressed discomfort with the idea of being in her mother's company. It saddened me as she revealed that she longed for her mother to return to the family home. I attempted to explain to her why such a scenario was unlikely to occur. I reassured her that our decision had nothing to do with the children and was a matter between her mother and me. I reassured my daughter that her mother still loves her and that I, too, love her more than anything and will always be there to support her. I am not entirely certain how much I should divulge to my daughter regarding her mother's relationship with other men, as I believe it would be inappropriate to do so. I am also terrified about what the future holds and how I will cope with the aftermath of this situation. I cannot help but wonder how long it will take for me to move on from my wife and how this will affect my children. As I continued to ponder the situation, I came to the realization that it would be best to limit personal contact with my wife to an absolute minimum. As a result of my reflections, I decided to limit interactions with my wife to only what is necessary for the sake of our children. Recently, I had arranged a ski weekend with my children, which was intended to be a fun-filled time. However, just before we left, one of my kids began making a scene, refusing to clean up their room. This minor dispute then escalated into a full-blown argument, with the child ultimately declaring that they did not wish to accompany me and instead wanted to stay with their mother. In response, I suggested that the child call their mother to clarify the situation. However, this was not feasible, as my wife was busy with work and other commitments. During this period, I was overwhelmed with emotions, as I had been eagerly anticipating the ski weekend with my children, and I felt that my soon-to-be ex-wife was responsible for the current turmoil and our children's emotional distress. I had previously conversed with my child on multiple occasions, attempting to gauge their emotional state. It was evident that my child was struggling to cope with the situation, which was in contrast to their mother's belief that it would have no impact on the children. After experiencing a sense of uncertainty, I deemed it necessary to seek confirmation regarding the current situation, which led me to grab my telephone. My attempt to communicate with my soon-to-be ex-Wi-Fi quickly escalated out of control as I expressed my thoughts and reasons behind the issue at hand. Unfortunately, my partner abruptly ended the call, prompting me to compose a brief email stating that although she hung up, the truth remained unchanged. Reflecting on the event, I realized that my initial response was driven by raw emotions. In hindsight, I acknowledged the importance of allowing the situation to simmer down before reacting. The response from her was quite lengthy and emotionally charged, triggered by my initial statement. She delved deep into her personal truths, expressing her thoughts on how I had wronged her and treated her poorly. She also made it clear that she had no regrets about the affairs, even though one of them resulted in an abortion. I found it difficult to comprehend how one could not regret such a significant event. It seemed that she was attempting to shift the blame and responsibility entirely onto me. She stated firmly that she no longer desires my presence in her life and is prepared to dissolve our marriage. I seized the moment to refute her fallacious claims and provide a clear and unbiased perspective of her delusions. Additionally, I informed her that my legal representation will be sending her a letter regarding the divorce. I articulated why I have lost all optimism for our relationship and conveyed my reasoning in a factual manner. Subsequently, she responded, "Although I had no intention of pursuing a divorce, it appears that you have already taken the initiative to plan and orchestrate everything. I did not feel compelled to engage with your statements and chose not to respond. It is evident that your behavior and words scream for a divorce. Perhaps not in the imaginary world that you have constructed, as you seem to believe that we could remain married and be a family while you continue to see other men." It became clear to me that she had no understanding of the gravity of her actions and had not considered the repercussions. It is likely that she was taken aback by the information I provided. As a result, our communication has revolved almost exclusively around our children. I established an app with a shared calendar that enables us to share information pertaining to our children. After some time had passed, I spent 1.5 weeks on a ski vacation with the children, and we had an enjoyable time together. During the initial week, I presumed that she received the letter from my lawyer as I didn't hear back from her. As anticipated, she responded on a Friday 2 weeks ago with a text message stating that she received the letter and would carefully read through it. I sensed her anger through the message, and her comments on the content revealed her high emotional state. Initially, she might have thought that I made an empty threat, but now she realizes that it's not the case. As previously stated, I believe she is gradually recognizing that her house of cards and unrealistic hopes are tumbling down, and she must face the repercussions alone. After 3 days of receiving the letter, she sent me the following message, which I will roughly translate. I have been yearning to apologize to you for everything that occurred, and you had to endure because of me. I'm sorry for hurting you and ruining everything we had. However, I would also like to express my gratitude to you for helping me mature. I want you to know that I will always be there for you whenever you need me, and I genuinely mean it. Although we couldn't succeed as a couple, I would be delighted if we could co-parent our children. Thank you. What am I supposed to make of this? Why is she apologizing? It seems like it's for everything, which makes it convenient for her to avoid reflecting on her actions and their consequences. She's hoping for forgiveness without taking responsibility for her actions. Her offer to always be there for me and thanking me for helping her mature seems insincere. She hasn't learned the most crucial lesson on how to handle crises, particularly the initial crisis in our marriage. I believe that a particular event triggered her downward spiral, which she's now trying to absolve herself of by seeking my forgiveness. I don't think she's waiting for my response. Instead, she said what she wanted to say and feels better for it. She also mentioned that she will start to see things more positively, which is something I've been telling her for years. Unfortunately, now that our family is already destroyed, she's finally taking my advice. Additionally, she claimed that she went to the police due to the report of abuse of privacy. She mentioned that she won't report me, which is not surprising since she likely realized that she had no evidence and would only embarrass herself. The divorce process is underway, but it usually takes 6 to 12 months to complete. I'm unsure whether I should respond to her message or not. It's not like I want to save the marriage since I see no hope for it. That's all for the latest update. I wrote seeking advice a week ago, and now find myself in need of it once more. I am experiencing great difficulty, consumed by feelings of hurt and anger, and a strong desire for revenge. I heeded the advice given here and did not respond to my soon-to-be ex's message last week, but I am still unable to let go of the situation. I am certain that she is currently enjoying her life, elated that I have finally filed for divorce and left the marriage, something she likely desired for a lengthy period of time. It's likely that she has already moved on and is in a new relationship. To save on costs, I got my oldest child a cell phone so they can easily contact me when I'm not at home. I also added their mother's number to the phone so they can reach her without using the more expensive home phone. My child recently tried calling their mother on the phone, but she didn't answer. Later on, she sent a text message to my child's phone, asking who the number belonged to. At 10 p.m., a call was received on the cell phone from a suppressed number. 3 minutes later, the caller identified themselves as the mother. Given that my ex is not familiar with suppressing numbers, it is likely that she was not alone during the call. Additionally, I had reached out to her through the co-parenting app on Saturday regarding a matter related to the kids. She informed me that she could only address it on Sunday, indicating that she was spending the weekend away, possibly with her new partner. Although I desire no contact, it appears that I am frequently receiving information that triggers speculation. The fact that my ex is already in a happy relationship is something I cannot bear, as I believe she has no entitlement to it. This is causing me to suffer, and I'm unsure of how to handle it. I do not want to be constantly haunted by this and feel terrible due to being triggered everywhere. It is affecting me deeply. I am likely even more furious because, as a divorced father of 3 children, It feels almost impossible to meet someone new. I know this from personal experience, even though I may not be emotionally prepared to do so. I have even attempted to meet others without mentioning that I have kids, which proved to be somewhat more successful, but unlikely to lead to a genuine relationship. Meanwhile, my ex has no difficulty finding someone new as an attractive and inexperienced young mother. She is undoubtedly an easy target or fetish for some. I am skeptical that most of the individuals my ex is seeing are interested in anything serious and are merely taking advantage of her. I am struggling to cope with this situation and am unsure of how to change my mindset and stop caring about her. I am perplexed as to why I simultaneously love and hate her. Ladies and gentlemen, what can you advise this gentleman in his difficult situation? Write about it in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Bye-bye.